What's going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have like and sub, and let's get into this. We've talked about it before. Peter Dinklage and his comments essentially lambasting companies for still hiring little people to do a role anything other than like a Game of Thrones role or something 100% serious. And the simple fact of the matter is that there is a lack of roles for little people, dwarves, etc., people with dwarfism, or just little people in general. Yeah, Magical Dwarfs was one of them. That was one of them. In from Dungeons and Dragons to other fantasy elements to obviously Snow White, things like Time Bandits, which we'll talk about in a second. Yes, those were solid roles that could be counted upon, and those were taken away. So we'll talk about here. There's some more backlash coming out, specifically in this case around Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. That's 7 roles that could have gone to little people that have been taken. And obviously, dwarves in this case does not mean people with dwarfism, but actual mythical dwarves, like in Lord of the Rings, dwarves, that type of dwarves. So it's not supposed to be derogatory in any way, shape, or form. Here we go. And by the way, they didn't see it that way. We actually have a very diverse group in our chats. One of them is a little person. Shout out, John. He was giving us a scoop on all of this that, like, yeah, these are just roles that are accepted. They are roles that are accurate in the mind of, like, hey, if I'm a little person, what can I really set my goals and aspiration to? We're not all going to get a Tyrion from Game of the Thrones, but something like a Lord of the Rings, Time Bandits, other things, that is attainable. Not anymore. Thanks, Peter. So you can see here Zach Roloff from one of the stars of Little People, Big World, torched Disney Company and Peter Dinklage. And I would, the bigger one is Peter Dinklage, because they didn't do this on their own. So it's first reported by Cosmic Book News. Roloff expressed his thoughts via Instagram story post. Yeah, you can see here, I'll go to the highlighted. Here is his response to that of check the date. This image article is recent. They updated diversified Snow White, but went way backwards on the dwarf side. Hope Dinklage is happy. So you can see there, the little piece of little person community, rather, they definitely blame Peter Dinklage. And oddly enough, I've also heard that Warwick Davis isn't exactly on their goods. That Warwick Davis, who supposedly made an acting company specifically for little people, they think that he's gatekeeping, keeping roles for him. And this is similar to what Peter Dinklage. They think that the reason he said what he said is so he can keep the roles for himself, which is hilarious and believable. So he also posted this. Watch this. So they aren't just taking away dwarves and making Snow White. They're CGIing the dwarves. This isn't 1937. There are actually a lot of people with dwarfism walking around. Either focus on Snow White or own the dwarf representation. Now, this is one of those things where, again, I would point out that these are not supposed to be people with dwarfism. These are supposed to be a fictional race of creature called dwarves. That being said, I agree they shouldn't CGI them. They should have little people play those roles. Period. And this, of course, comes from Peter Dinklage. Back in 2022, Dinklage appeared on the What the Fuck with Mark Maron podcast. Mark Maron, who, of course, can only complain that he's not popular as Rogan is. Where he criticized the Walt Disney Company for their upcoming live-action Snow White film. Why did I mention that? Because Mark Maron and Peter Dinklage here are a bunch of complaining bitches that aren't happy about where they are. They think they deserve to be higher up on the ladder, and they're going to climb over everyone else if they can do that. Dinklage said at the time, well, it's really progressive to cast, literally no offense to anyone, but I was a little taken aback. They're very proud to cast a Latina actress as Snow White, but you're still telling the story of Snow White and the 7 dwarves. So take a step back and look at what you're doing there, he continued. It makes no sense to me because you're progressive in one way, but you're still making that fucking backward story with the 7 dwarves living in a cave. They lived in a very nice house in the fucking forest, in a cottage. What the fuck are you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing, man, is what you should have said to yourself when you just cost everyone their gerbs. He's taking their gerbs! Which he is. Have I done, and this is his ego, have I done nothing to advance the cause from my soapbox? I guess I'm not loud enough. Maybe that's a small person joke. He then concluded, I don't know what studio that is, but they were so proud of that. And all love and respect to the actress. No love and respect to the actress, by the way. And to the people who thought they were doing the right thing. But I'm just like, what are you doing? Later in the podcast, he added, if you tell the story of Snow White and its most fucked up, cool, progressive spin on it, let's do it all in. But I just don't. Yeah. So what does that mean? You want the 7 tall black men? That's a different movie that you can rent, Peter. Zeg might be doing those my type of movies pretty soon. In response to his comments, you can see our Walt Disney Company told the Hollywood Reporter to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film. We are taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with members of the dwarvism community. Bull fucking shit. Because those members would have told you to keep hiring actors. We look forward to sharing more of the film as it heads into production after a lengthy development period, and lengthy it was. Reshoots abound. Film has been in development for 3 years. You can just might as well say 4 years at this point. What a fucking joke. And you can also see here, in addition to Roloff, Tara Joel, who was the last story from Little Women, said that not only has she been screwed over by Disney, but that she specifically was hired for the Time Bandits movie. And because of Peter's little comments, she ended up being fired and those characters were replaced with CGI. So way to go, Peter. Way to take that ladder, hobble on up it, and then kick it right down so pull it up after you so no one else could get roles. What are you doing, man? Anyway, feel shame. You should. Hop off your soapbox and let everyone else get on to get their roles and payments. Anyway, let me know what you think of this. Be sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And ooh, Peter.
Well, bye.